All right, we're live. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's just one day till Friday. What is up with the internet right now? Internet should be fine. Okay, so because according to a lot of people attending, just asking that as a question right now on the chat. Hopefully people will be able to get it because apparently the chat is buffering for some people too, which is troubling. Via chat. I'll repeat them again for the sake of the video. So it might take a little bit of time. Please. Okay, so as a preface, for anyone who has not seen one of our camera on an H109S charge while connected to the quad or only when plugged into the USB charger? That's a good question. The answer is it does charge while connected to the aircraft, but not at a rate fast enough to compensate for a dead battery. AKA that's the next question, by the way. It's a good one. As of right now, to my knowledge, no. I don't think they will, frankly speaking. I think they're more concerned because here's the deal. The H501S is a fixed lens aircraft. It's a fixed at speeds in which a tiltable camera angle would be necessary. Or should I say it also, it's not exactly a pure photography platform. So it's not a race lens. What? I think what you're trying to ask is if you can charge both lipos at the same time with the stock charger. No, some people have modified the charger to do so, but this is absolutely not advisable. So yeah, right out of the box, the stock charger is not made for that. There's been some people who have modified the charger to do that, but we do not advise that at all. No, we don't approve of it. Not from a hobbyist standpoint, that's a big ol' freaking no. Nah. Questions like these over live stream because the details are so vague. A number of things could have happened. You could have lost control. You could have lost control via a defective 2.4 interference on the 2.4. Or you could have also had a compass or GPS interference issue. Okay. So I just answered that on chat. So this question is, did I see somewhere that I tested it myself? I have seen the technician test it once with an H107C, and the transmitter could be used again, but was released, I'd probably be the worst person to ask because again, we don't get an answer. We don't get answers to that on the spot informed about those things. Se vuela, pero el rato se cae, no sé por qué es. That means in English, I have an H501. I have an H502S, and while flying, it just falls. And I don't know why. If you don't, honestly, I'm going to say it right here, and for the benefit of everybody, I'm going to say it right here. If you're going to give questions like that, be prepared to give details. Because again, it's like asking why your car crashed without telling the mechanic exactly what happened during the drive, which makes it really hard for us to answer any sort of questions like that. So for the sake of us being able to help you, please give more details, and you will want to email us. It's going to be a longer process. So the next question is, I tried flying the H123D with the HT011A, but I couldn't change flight modes, which is quite normal. There are no toggle switches for that. The manual states it can be flown with the HT011. Is that a different transmitter? Yes, it is a different transmitter. Very slightly different, but it's still different nonetheless. We haven't tested it here in North America, so I'm sorry to just say I can't really give a good answer to that. I would, but I can't give you answers that I don't have. So the next question is there a way of doing a takeoff on an H501S besides using the throttle? Not intentionally, no. You don't have an auto takeoff key or button for that transmitter or aircraft. There have been some who use the return to home feature to do that, but we don't, number one, we don't recommend that. Number two, now there is a restriction on return to home in which if the aircraft is within 10 meters of the transmitter, it will not go into return to home. Okay, people are telling me that the stream is working now. Can everybody hear me? Because it's going to be faster for me to just answer everything live. I've been answering everything via chat, and it takes a little more time because I got to answer it and then I got to say it out loud. Can I get an affirmative from everyone in the chat room, please? Okay, all righty, it's working. Sorry about that. Not really anything that any of us can control. The Wi-Fi was just ridiculous. Okay, sounds good. Phew. All right, so as a reminder, please don't post your questions more than once because that takes up chat room time and it also makes the chat box jump down when I'm trying to search, when I'm trying to keep myself, in the correct order on the list, and that causes me to skip questions. So being that I don't want to, I would like to avoid doing that for the sake of everybody's for the sake of everybody's time and space here in the room, please refrain from posting any more than one time any more than one repetition of your question per go. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I stopped, which is right after the takeoff question. Where is it? Okay, my drone keeps on toilet bowling. Help me fix it, please. This is an example of a question that requires further troubleshooting and that we would recommend that you either, number one, give us more details, or number two, that you email us at service@hubsan.com for. For the sake of just because now people can actually hear me and see me, here's the reason we don't really answer questions like that or my aircraft's going out of control questions on a live stream. there are too many factors that could have contributed to the situation you're talking about. It's like asking why a car crashed on a freeway without giving us exactly time of day, without telling the mechanic, oh, there, like something started sounding wrong in the car, et cetera, et cetera. Like if you're just gonna go up to a mechanic and go, hey, my car crashed, can you tell me what went wrong? Mechanic's gonna look at you and ask, can you tell me what happened so that I can piece together what might have gone wrong? So we're not trying to say that nothing went wrong with your aircraft. We're trying to say that, okay, if something went wrong with your aircraft, we're gonna need more meat on the bone to tell you what might have gone wrong or what else could have gone wrong if it doesn't sound like something went wrong on the aircraft. So in your case, number one, I've said this before in previous live streams, I will reiterate it. Please visit our toilet bowling tutorial on our main Hubsan, on our main Facebook page. The tag for that page is at Hubsan001. So go to your Facebook search bar and type in at Hubsan001. Click on the official company Facebook page, go to the pinned post right beneath the sales tab, click see more or whatever it says for you to expand the description below the video, and go to toilet bowling and the compass calibration, number one. Number two, there was an answer on here about how the aircraft, it might have happened if the aircraft was not on a flat surface previous to the aircraft going into calibrate compass 1. So if you're moving the aircraft during check gyro sensor or have it on an uneven surface, yes, there is a chance that might happen. There's also a motor issue that I've been aware of, but that's a more rare case. I've hardly ever seen that. More so, it's number one, improperly performed compass calibration. Number two, maybe you need to upgrade your flight control firmware. Number three, maybe defective compass. Number four, interference in your surroundings, including not limited to underground power or iron lines or presence of iron anywhere else near you. Or perhaps you're like one client who had magnetic buttons on his jacket and was calibrating the compass here. So this is why we need more details. I recommend that you email us at service@hubsan.com after looking at the toilet bowling tutorial on our main Facebook page. Again, tag for that page is at Hubsan001. I'm gonna go on to the next question. We don't have much time left, so I'm gonna try and get through as many as I can without sacrificing the quality of my answers too much. How do you set the date and time for the H501S? My pictures and videos say that they're from 1969 and 1979. So how you do that is unfortunately not related to tweaking everything on the aircraft. What you will want to do is the moment you transfer your media over from an SD card to the computer that you are using, to change the name of each media file. That will change the date created to date modified to whatever day you are doing it on. And of course, if you want a date of creation or modification that reflects the time and day that you took the pictures or videos, you're going to want to do it on, of course, the day you took those videos and pictures. So change the title on them when you transfer them over from the SD card. That'll change the date modified. Possibly will change the date created as well, because you moved the media over to the computer on that day. What about the future of the H501SS? Will it have future support and update, or will it be dismissed? Unless the H501 series descends into obscurity, which it will most likely not be, considering how popular it is on the RC market, then it will continuously have support as long as people keep on flying them. People keep on flying them. We will provide, it will of course evolve and be maintained. Okay. Hello, Annie. I bought my H501S about 3 years ago. Can I update the firmware to the latest? Yes. For you, I would recommend Flight Control 1.1.41 and RX 1.2.20. I would not recommend anything further than that. mainly because the latest release, which is FC 1.1.46 and RX 2.1.29, are meant for H501S-S copters with hardware that is optimized for auto calibration, which you do not have. Plus, your aircraft is an original 501S, not an SS. And by the way, as for the firmware that I quoted, FC 1.1.46 and RX 2.1.50. I'm sorry, I think I said RX 2.1.29. That's one of the latest, but the latest for the auto calibration is 2.1.50. If you don't have the auto calibration hardware in your aircraft, I do not recommend upgrading to that firmware at all. If you're on the original Compass with an H501S-S or an H501S, stick with FC 1.1.41 and the respective RX, which means for the original 501S, stick to 1.2.20, which is the latest release for the H501S. And for the SS, if you don't have the auto calibration, the new hardware, then stick to 2.1.29 for the RX. And just as a note, you're probably not going to get the new hardware at all unless you're already on. You purchase the aircraft with FC 1.1.46 and RX 2.1.50 already installed. So that kind of defeats the purpose of having the firmware out and about for the upgrade. So I would stick with FC 1.1.41 and RX 1.2.20 for your H501S. You can visit the official Hubsan website at www.hubsan.com, product support, and click on the changelog for the H501S. Alrighty, next question. Okay. Can I switch the H501S from CE to CEE for more range? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. But if you're talking about changing the nature of the signal or anything in regards to the hardware or software, that's most likely a modification. And in that, that is most likely a modification. So in that case, what I'm going to say to that is this: just because you can doesn't mean you should. You do it at your own risk. You will avoid the warranty on your aircraft of doing that. I have no doubt that if you're skilled enough, you can do it. I'm not one of those people. At least I haven't really chosen to be. So I can't really officially recommend it. I don't really have very much knowledge on that to begin with. And also considering that I work for Hubsan, I can't really approve of that or anything that would void an aircraft warranty. So I have no doubt that you can. I don't know what the results of that would be. And it would be difficult for us to help you from a company standpoint if something went wrong if you did that. Okay. No problem. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more of an answer by the way, but it's just the nature of what we're talking about here. If you bought a refrigerator and wanted to alter it so that it could get colder, you can't really expect the company that you purchased it from to really give any advice on that. They're probably not going to do it. Now, if I were a hobbyist with skills and experience in that particular field, then yes, I would give you more advice as well as my perspective on it. But again, I don't have that information, nor am I in a position to really give it. If I did, suppose I could give a little bit, but I can't really approve it as a Hubsan employee. Okay, what about the future of the H501SS? Who knows? Again, it all depends on on whether people keep on flying them and how the industry goes. When you're asking about the future of any given aircraft you're asking about the future of the industry. I'm just a technical support rep. As experienced as I am, I don't think I'm experienced enough to predict the trend, like to predict what direction the UAV industry will go in, honestly. And to be rather frank, given the directions that it has been going in and how quickly it's grown, I don't think anybody in the industry, save for those who are really attuned to the pilot communities around the world, will really, will really know exactly what the heck will happen. I will say this though, and I've said it before in previous live streams. The H501 series is a massive success for our company, but we're not stopping there. Hubsan isn't really stopping there. So, yeah. Okay, great job handling a challenging situation today. Thank you. And speaking of which, I'm sorry, I know my live part of this stream didn't last very long. I had to do a chat most of the time, but I am nearing the last 3 minutes of my allotted time. I let it go a little over today because I know that we couldn't get through as many because I had to type and talk at the same time. But if anybody has a last question or two, I will do my best to address it within that time. So please, you guys have 3 more minutes. Use them wisely. Okay. Can you pair the H501SS with an aftermarket transmitter? For any questions regarding aftermarket parts, the company itself, the manufacturer itself, might not be the best to ask unless the compatibility were publicized by the company itself. So I have no idea because we have never tested the H501S with an aftermarket transmitter here in the office. I've seen clients who have managed it. A lot of them with that had to do a little bit of modification, which, we can't really advise. I have no doubt that it could be possible, especially given the skill level of some of the engineers out there who play with these things. But we can't really talk on that regard, and I wouldn't know very much about that area. Again, I take the example with the refrigerator that I gave earlier. No problem. You guys got 2 more minutes, man. Use them wisely. Let me scroll up and see what I've missed. Hopefully I haven't missed too many things because it was really crowded in the chat earlier. Okay, it looks like I've pretty much answered everybody's questions above. Okay, I'm going to choose one question out of the 2 that just came out. I will answer the second one because the first one regarding the protocol, I cannot give any information on that. R&D is strictly forbidden me from talking anything on anything about that. So I apologize, but unfortunately not possible for me to release. It's like asking an Apple engineer what protocol one of the new iPhones uses. Think they're going to give you the answer to that question? Nah. Okay. I saw a YouTube video where the throttle has a screw adjustment to change the H906A from a center stick to manual mode. Is this possible? Yes. That's exactly what those screws are built in for, actually. There's even an instruction in the H301S manual from which people can do that because some people prefer flying the Spyhawk with a manual throttle, others with the self-centering. So you can do that. Just as always, be careful not to damage anything in or on the transmitter while you're doing that. Otherwise, like if something happens, then we won't be able to help cover that. And yeah, just be careful not to damage anything. Alrighty, that's the last question I'm going to answer for today. So thank you everyone for coming. I know it's been a smaller group, and I know it was difficult earlier during this broadcast because the connection was just so bad. And I don't exactly know what happened either, because the Wi-Fi on my end showed as strong. It was everything. I mean, we had everything going on well enough so that I was supposed to be able to have a stable connection earlier during the live stream as well, but for some reason it was just not working. So I thank the people who were there for that, and also were patient enough to wait for me to type everything onto the chat so that you guys would have some answers. If you're watching after the fact and have missed the live stream, you have exactly 2 more opportunities for this particular series to get in on a live stream and get your questions answered. For both of those are going to be next week, Wednesday and Friday. I don't quite remember off the top of my head exactly what times they will be, but I will post the time in the status update along with this, along with the link for this recorded live stream for you. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to thank the representatives of each country who are here today, as well as the people who have made it possible for our company to make a rise in the industry. So hopefully you guys will continue to enjoy Hubsan products. And as always, if you have any questions, either ask us via the 2 remaining live stream times that we have, or by emailing service@hubsan.com. We greatly appreciate your presence here, and see you next week.